Welcome to Boise Song Talk. I'm James Coberly Smith. Give me just a second to set this guitar down, would you please? Thank you. Songs. What are these songs? Well, consider this. On the one hand, we have unforgettable, that's what you are. Unforgettable, though near or far. And on the other hand, we have wild things. You make my heart sing. Completely different songs, but they both work. Now, what we're going to be doing on Boise Song Talk is we're going to be speaking with a number of the great local songwriters about how they write their songs. Now, they're all great live performers, and I encourage you to go out and see their live shows. However, we won't be emphasizing performance on this show. Instead, we'll be focusing on how they write their songs. Now, I'm going to start things off with a short song of my own, and then we'll go over and meet tonight's special guest. Cottonwoods dancing like a snowstorm in June. You and me swaying by the light of the moon. Some things just happen, whoever knew? So much would happen between us. Cottonwoods dancing like a snowstorm in June. You and me quietly swaying. Keep our hearts open, keep our thoughts new. So much could happen between us. Hillsides on hillsides, sun upon snow. Time wanders on, things come and go. Some things ain't beautiful, you never know. So much could happen between us. Cottonwoods dancing like a snowstorm in June. You and me quietly swaying. Keep our hearts open, keep our thoughts new. So much could happen between us. Cottonwoods dancing like a snowstorm in June. Now let's go over and meet tonight's special guest, Kelly Lynae. Kelly Lynae, good to see you.
Hi.
Put her there, baby. Thank you very much for coming.
No problem.
All right. I have had a good time watching you perform in the last year or two.
I didn't know you'd seen me perform. When did you see me?
I lay low. I've seen you several times. Solo. I've seen you with Dan Costello.
Which is always better, I think, than the solo
well,
ones.
that's different. That's a different story. The thing that's been interesting to me over the past, that short period of time, is your development, how you're already shifting in your songwriting.
Well, I've only been playing for 3 years altogether is when I kind of decided that I was just going to pick up a guitar because I thought I might be good at writing lyrics. I went to school for journalism, and I thought I could write lyrics and then maybe other people would sing it because I didn't really think that I should be that person. And I just fell in love with it, and maybe it was the attention or all the people staring at me, but it's all I want to do now.
So you started lyrically.
Yeah. Well, and that was always my focus music-wise, is that I had something that I really wanted to say, and I wanted a more powerful medium to say it with. At the time, I had just come back to Boise from Washington, D.C., and I was doing a journalism internship there, and I would write these articles that I felt really, really passionately about, and I thought they were so important, and nobody that I really wanted to read them read them. And only the people who wanted to write nasty comments online, it seemed like, were reading them. And so I became very addicted to the idea that I was expressing ideas that were very, very important to me, and I was getting audience responses to them in real time, and that it became more conversational in that aspect, and that's really what drove me to keep playing.
It was interesting. You mentioned journalism. You said that to me once before. And you had described how studying journalism helped you work to become more concise with words. Describe that and how that worked into songwriting.
Well, journalism is always, you have a topic that you could write a book about, and they want you to write it in 700 words.
Right.
And then you turn it in, and you think, I got it down to 700 words, and it was impossible, and I never thought I could do it, and then the editor cuts it down to 500 words. And you're just like, wow, that was pointless. Why did I do that? And so it's really about finding the most powerful words to describe things in the fastest way possible, because you only have people for this much space on the newspaper, and then it's somebody else's turn, it's somebody else's space.
Right.
And I think that helps a lot with songwriting, because you really have to choose the most powerful imagery. You have to choose what really gets to the heart of the matter, because songs are much shorter than articles are even.
Very interesting. Well, I see over there that you've got a ukulele now.
Yes.
Before you give us one of those, did you start, first you were doing lyrics, correct, poetry, and then you started playing
the guitar.
Okay.
Clumsily and badly, mostly. 6 strings just befuddled me. I couldn't.
That's a lot of them.
That was you handled 12 pretty well, actually. 6 strings was too much for my little brain. But the ukulele, I just fell in love with. It's so much fun, and the voicings are so interesting, I think. Most music is written on the guitar or the piano, and so you get an instrument that's in a different key, and it's really fun to work with.
Well, let's hear a little bit of this here ukulele business.
Okay, well, I'll start with a recent song that I just wrote. It's a short little ditty. It's called Va te faire foutre, which means something very rude in French. And this is something that actually started from a poem that I wrote in, and it became the song.
Okay.
I tried to get back at you for your shootings with a gun. With a pocket knife and a hand grenade, I slew many. But I feel the same now. I feel the same now. I feel the same now that I've won. I feel the same now. I feel the same now. I feel the same now that I've won. Now standing amidst corpses of my better qualities, I take what I do not want to fill my belly. And I want you back now. I want you back now. I want you back now, but differently. I want you back now. I want you back now. I want you back now, but differently. Va te faire foutre, mon ami. Barefoot, if you please. Barefoot, ah, barefoot, barefoot, mon ami. And I feel the same now. I feel the same now. I feel the same now, but differently.
Very nice, very nice. Now, I'll stick with lyrics for a second. We'll come back around on music. When you are getting lyrics, do you already know the topic you're trying to talk about in a song, or do you just start getting lyrics?
No. Sometimes it starts with something that I just sing to myself. Like, I just come up with a phrase that I'm singing to myself as I walk down the hall, and I go, "That's brilliant. That's just wonderful. I'm going to make that into a song." And sometimes it comes from really just sort of hours of free writing. I keep notebooks and I fill them very quickly, and I'm just writing all the time. And so, you know, when I'm filled with a certain kind of metaphysical angst, I always write about it, and that came from me just being pissed at somebody that I used to date and deciding to write a very rude song to that person that sounded very sweet, because I think it's always nice to say something really mean nicely, I guess. But you know, they are very lyrically driven for me. I think most of the instrumental and vocal decisions I make is based on how I want those lyrics to sound.
So lyrics come fast then?
Not always.
Like the last song, can you remember how that came?
Well, yeah, and it's a song that I turned into a song maybe a year and a half after I wrote the actual lyrics.
Okay, so it was done as just a lyric first.
Just as a free write, just as me sitting down and being like, I am so mad about this right now, and so I wrote about it, and I wrote about it in French partially, and so I decided to keep that French element of it when I turned it into a song.
Okay, and when you were writing that lyric, would that be something, you described it as free writing, that would just be, like the whole dang song would just be written sort of in one sitting?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So it's not, you don't usually have to go back on things and edit them and chop them. It's not a piece building process usually. It usually comes quickly.
Usually I find that I have a moment of sort of emotional clarity where I feel like I know exactly how I feel about, you know, this jackass who broke my heart, or I know exactly how I feel about this, and so it all comes out in a rush. I do, however, write songs that are more of a storytelling nature, and those are a little bit more contemplative because I'm not telling about something from my life. So I think there's two categories of songs for me. There are songs that that I have to write, that I must write, or whatever feeling I have is just going to eat me alive. And there's songs that I choose to write, and it's because I have a topic that I'm really interested in exploring through that medium. And so that was very much a have to write song.
So you had the lyrics, and now became, after a year of them being there,
Yeah.
The leap occurred to have it become a song. Did you pick up the uke and start goofing around with it, or did you have the melody in mind sort of and say, now I know how I want it to see? How did it transfer?
No, I ran into the guy at a bar or something, and it brought back all those memories. Be like, yeah, I remember why I broke up with you, but you're still hot, you know, that kind of thing. And so I went back and I was perusing some of the writings that I had from that time, and that one struck me as the most as the one that really contained how I felt about him then and how I felt about him now. And so I started playing to it and I just sang it. It's so not as intelligent as I would like it to sound, the whole process, but it's very organic for me.
So you picked up the uke.
Yes.
Okay, and just started playing it and had the lyrics sitting there in front of you, and then it just took shape.
Yeah.
And did that happen quickly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I picked a key. That was an important decision.
Oh.
I picked a key, and then I changed a couple of the chord voicings because I thought they were more dynamic in other places, and then it was done. And then I was all jazzed about it and went down to open mic night and played it.
All right. Well, I think we ought to just make you play another one.
Okay.
You game?
Well, I was talking about the two types of songs that I write, and
Yeah,
the have to and then the want to, and
Yeah.
this was a song that I really sort of dreamed up this story, and this one took me actually a while to put together, because I was trying to be fancy. But
Fair enough.
on 14th Street between F and G, a poor man busks each day. His violin case open at his feet to catch his daily wage. He knows at 5 she'll come along each day. He plays the same sweet song and sings the words inside his head, a message never to be said. This is my song, let it kiss you, for I cannot, though I wish to. I wrote these words to embrace you, one melody to caress your face. I don't complain of my life, grateful for my lot, my portion. So my song says what I cannot, the anthem of a fool's devotion. Now it's been months since she last passed, but still he plays his song. On 14th Street between F and G, he swears it won't be long till she returns and hears the words he'll never sing out loud. This lonesome dream, his only hope is boastings to the crowd. This is my song, may it find you anywhere your life might take you. I will always want you, love you, and I'm right here thinking of you. Life is hard, it gets no better each day inside this mad commotion, but my love for you is my comfort, the anthem of a fool's devotion.
Very nice. I played uke was my first instrument.
It's a great instrument.
Yep. Very cool. It is. It is. In fact, it's a great instrument, I think, for for young kids before they try to learn guitar, and holding a big old flipping guitar.
I bought one for my nephew.
A uke?
I bought it for him this Christmas, and he was
Good.
so cute. He opened it up, and my nephew is always, he calls it the lick-a-lay-lay,
Nice.
and he's always asking me to play the lick-a-lay-lay, but really what he means is let me play your lick-a-lay-lay. And I don't really like him to play mine because I get scared because it's nice. And when he opened it on Christmas Day, he didn't say anything. He just went, ooh. He was so excited about it. And so I've been trying to teach him. But I think he's much more interested in like this
It's all right.
element and less of the
right.
melodic elements.
What age is he?
3.
Jeez. And he doesn't have, as long as if he's swinging away at it, he's on his way.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, if you're out about your daily business and you're driving your car or you're shopping or something, I often ask people, if an idea starts to come to you, how do you capture it?
I record it on my phone.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, and the people stopped at the light next to me look at me funny when I'm like
Okay.
singing into my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't. There's a million songs that I have not written, and it was just because I didn't seize that moment of inspiration when it came. I think those things, you don't choose them, you don't create them, they just sort of hit you, and if you don't write it down, it'll just go straight past. And I feel that way about a lot of ideas that I just never pursued. I didn't capture them when they came to me. But yeah, I remember being in my car and coming up with this little jumpy frame and being like, and then it was stuck in my head and I had to record it before it ran away.
Well, that's a good practical thing. So you call your cell phone?
No, my phone, it records little sound bites, but it only records 1.5 minutes.
Oh, that's plenty.
So I have to get it in 1.5 minutes or it doesn't work.
Well, that's very good. So they don't go flying away from you. Very good. Very good. So songwriting then to you, is it would you say it's an inspiration or a discipline?
A bodily function, maybe?
Okay.
It's eating, breathing, songwriting. I don't know what the hell I did before I started playing songs because I didn't pick up a guitar till I was 21. But now it's very necessary to my existence, I think.
Yeah, it can kind of get a hold of you. And if you had to give some advice to other songwriters, whether they're new or veteran songwriters, any couple of thoughts you might have?
Well, I guess I don't have advice for veteran songwriters because I still think I have a lot to learn from veteran songwriters, and that they probably don't have much to learn from me. But I do think that nothing is really wrong if it sounds good to you and if you believe that it's transmitting the idea, the concept, the feeling, that je ne sais quoi, then do it. I think that everybody should have music as a part of their lives. It's really weird what's become of our culture, whereas most cultures across the world, music is something that everybody does. Dancing is something that everybody does. And yet you hear all the time in America, like, oh, I can't sing, I can't dance. Everybody can sing and dance. You just sustain your voice, and then you're there, you're singing. But yeah, I don't look at being amateur as being in my way. I think music is a series of happy accidents anyways. And so you can break down the mathematics of it perfectly and know it, but that doesn't give your music meaning and it doesn't give it heart.
Right, you had said once that you're willing to just pick up the instrument and place your fingers anywhere and see what happens.
Just try stuff. It's like, oh, that works. That sounds even better.
Yeah, very good, very good. So how are we doing over there? A couple minutes? Is that where we are? Something like that? 2 it is. Well, then I would say, first, if anyone wants information on Kelly Lynae, you can feel free to contact me at my email, jamescoberlysmith@gmail.com, and I can get you over to Kelly's information. I thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
And why don't you take us out on the song here?
Okay.
And if you finish the song, we're still going, then we wing it. But
Okay. This is my most recent song. I wrote this one last week, so I'm excited about it.
okay. Kelly lynae.
Yeah, it's called the John Wilkes Photo Booth. I'm a little girl who's home alone when the coyotes howl and the peacocks roam. Good night, good night. I'm a little fiend at the Coke machine, and the dogs have come to devour me. Goodbye, goodbye. Don't read me in your books, and don't deal me filthy looks. Don't ask me for the truth. I am your John Wilkes Booth. I'm the little beast who is what the priest. Now the people cry for a goodly feast. Good night, good night. You're the angry fan with the spray on tan, and a stupid bitch who makes you a man. Goodbye.